I like how Brian suddenly upshifts and everyone else is just upshifting and downshifting depending on which gear they were gonna go to. It's kind of obvious that Brian was the one driving all his life while everyone else is just lagging around him and they're acting like a bunch of goofballs. And Slapjack, I don't know why he had to go up with that idea of just blocking Brian right directly when they turn. It's so funny. Like, really funny. Like, I obviously watched this movie. Since it just came out to the Philippines in 2003, I think it was likely a long time ago since this movie was made. Okay, cutting in front of Brian like that while swerving in and out of lanes just means you're just acting like a reckless driver. And in fact, why is Slapjack always swerving back and forth in lanes when trying to make Brian pass him? And plus, I think the obvious point here was I think Slapjack acts more of a reckless driver because swerving in and out of the road like that, it just means that Brian was obviously going to hit him if he did kept doing that. Like, bruh, that's what you call offensive driving because not only you're annoying someone with that kind of behavior, but cutting in and out of the lanes like that could cause major accidents and major traffic offenses. Okay, from what I can tell that Suki was doing, he obviously F bombs Orange Julius in the middle of this race and he was just like, nah, I'm not gonna let you pass, girl. I mean, ugh, bruh, why would Suki say the B word if she dared try doing this? I know it seems like offensive, but offending the other driver by just throwing an F bomb could possibly be another kind of traffic offense that you're basically drunk driving. I mean, bruh, I seen these in road rage movies before, but not like this. This is street racing, not a daily commute, bruh. I definitely saw Brian do that to Slapjack's Toyota Supra. And bruh, wasn't that tailgating? Isn't that a little bit illegal? Because not only you're tailgating, that you just mean you have to threaten the driver by just ramming into the back of his car. I mean, bruh, I never done that in real life because technically it would be a traffic hazard for endangering an innocent motorist. In fact, racing offensively and doing something dangerous like that, that is obviously the worst kind of idea that you would ever come up with. Okay, was that really necessary? Going inside of the drawbridge control tower and Breaking and entering, never do that in real life, especially when you're in a movie. Because unless you want to be caught breaking and entering into private property, I would obviously be arrested for the cops if they ever saw me in real life. I mean, bruh, breaking and entering into someone's home while they are asleep, it just means that the cops would probably catch you in amount of seconds because they obviously have 24-hour night patrols, especially during the daytime, especially in a locked up area where your privacy products were being placed. I think that's obviously offensive. Was that really necessary? Suki just slammed her front bumper directly at Orange Julius's RX-7 and bruh, why would Suki do that? Don't you know that's considered offensive driving? You're basically endangering a motorist by just ramming into their car. I mean, in fact, I seen Jeepers Creepers 2001 do this with the Impala and a 1941 Chevrolet cargo van. I mean, then you got street racing tailgating. Like, what is with car movies having tailgaters and dangerous driving like that? Brian was right about that. Slapjack kind of went a little too wide, and in fact, that's what you call oversteering. Unless, of course, you want to know what oversteer is, it's basically meaning that Slapjack went a tiny bit too fast and overtook the turn so wide that he turned a bit late. But Brian, he turned a bit early for just to get past Slapjack like that. I mean, not gonna lie, that pass by Brian was a lot better compared to what he did in the first movie, which is kind of cool. Oh my god! Man, Orange Julius is such a gag. I like the way he just yells at Suki for just, you know. When Suki cleanly went past him, Julius was like, Hola, bola! I mean, it's kind of hilarious. Oh my gosh! That was so funny for him to actually do that. Man, Too Fast, Too Furious is definitely one of the hilarious Fast and Furious films, unlike Fast 7. Did Julius just say, I can smell you? Bruh, that's a bit creepy, bruh. Why would you say I would smell you? That was almost like I was able to see your face in the rearview mirror. Like, bruh. What is with Orange Julius? I know he's kind of Spanish because I think it's kind of obvious that he had said that line right at Suki's face when he just went like he did the yell at that point after Suki passed him. Raising the drawbridge, like seriously? I mean, I know it sounds like a big deal for this race to have a surprise, but raising a drawbridge directly at that moment could actually be a serious issue. Unless you want to do the Dukes of Hazzard jump, don't even try attempting this in real life. Ooh. That is gonna be so painful. In fact, Slapjack's Supra was not really that fast compared to what Brian's Supra actually did. Although the Too Fast to Furious Supra is kind of golden, not gonna lie. In fact, it was a bit slow. I mean, unlike Brian's Skyline, which is a lot faster than the Supra Slapjack used, and the way how Slapjack just jerked his head forward, it's kind of painful to actually watch him do that. Ooh. That is gonna be extremely painful. Imagine you would pay hospital bills right after that deadly accident. In fact, at least the accident wasn't really severe, unless of course it was extremely painful. In fact, it was so painful that Slapjack just ran right into the wall and slammed right into it. Like, bruh, that is so painful. Yeah, I agree with you, Orange Julius. In fact, Orange Julius had slammed right onto the brakes right before, hitting the bridge. What I obviously observed is that he didn't want to go for it and just slammed onto the brakes and stopped. And he was like freaking out right at the end. I think he was just panicked when the bridge went up. And he was like, "Oh, hell no, I'm not doing this. Stop." And then he did stop. I think it was pretty obvious that he was scared of jumping over the bridge and didn't want to risk his life. I would be in the spot where Orange Julius was because I think stopping and forfeiting mid-race is actually the smartest move a race car driver would professionally do in case of a pileup. Okay, I gotta admit, at least Suki managed to survive, but her front bumper, I don't know how it exactly came off because the camera obviously shown that the bumper was scraped right off, and somehow the force of the impact was so hard that the Honda S2000 was basically a low clearance car because it is a convertible. And in fact, judging how low the car was, I think it was obvious that the front bumper was broken right off right after slamming so hard into the ground. Uh, okay, so what I obviously like about this race scene from the Fast and Furious is that it's basically a lot more cheesier and has more skill to it. There's no realistic issue, but the realistic issue is tailgating and F-bombing other drivers. Yeah, so that concludes my portion of how Too Fast to Furious did that whole race part. Thank you for watching. Make sure you all go like and subscribe. I'll see you all next time in the next video. Bye!